Welcome in, everybody, to the PHNX Suns Postgame Show. We got sexy sacks tonight because the Phoenix Suns and Kevin Durant take down the Chicago Bulls 115 to 113. Back-to-back nights of 40-point performances by Kevin freaking Durant.
There's only one Slim Reaper, and he's on our team. He's a savage. He's a killer. And he made probably one of the most incredible shots I've ever seen in the history of the game. And here's the sexy sax to prove it.
If you are audio only right now,
oh my God, yeah.
Get in here.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why the fuck you're in my face, dude.
Guys, we're getting down on that sexy sax tonight, celebrating back-to-back wins and a 40-piece each night from Kevin Durant. Yo, that was insane.
Listen.
That was insane.
Eric, do you have my thing?
I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am. Y'all know who I am.
I mean,
I'm Kevin Durant.
He was 4 for 15 at a certain point in the third quarter, and you're like, man, this just isn't going to go our way. And then you're like, oh yeah, that's why you're one of the greatest scorers of all time, because you could turn it on just like that, and just went crazy.
Yeah,
I mean crazy. I didn't think he was going to miss after he hit that first three. It was over. Amazing. Just fucking amazing, dude.
Like
Jesus.
It's just crazy.
Oh
At 35 years old, Kevin Durant still having nights like he had last night and following it up in a night back-to-back games with the exact same thing. He played over 40. He played 40 minutes last night, 41 minutes tonight. Both nights knocked down 40 points, 40 plus points, and did the intangibles that we needed, especially when we desperately needed them. This game was so rough. So rough.
How rough was it?
You set her up for failure on that one. I can't even explain the degree of difficulty on that last shot. I don't give a damn that Kevin Durant is 6'11", 7 feet tall, however tall he is, and it's Alex Caruso trying to block his shot. It's still difficult to jump midair, know somebody's behind you, subtly move the ball down enough to get the shot off over the other defender, and I swear, it looked like it was an air ball because it was such a pure shot. Like the net didn't even move. Like that's just the most incredible shot I've ever seen. Like, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Fucking Kevin Durant. Oh my God.
That was one of the best halves of basketball we've seen a guy put in. I mean, it was unbelievable what Kevin Durant did after, a slow start. The whole team was flatlining, and Kevin Durant in the second half winds up going 12 of 19 after going 4 of 13 in the first half. He legitimately put the entire team on his back and said, you know what? Nobody else has it tonight. I'm going to be everything you need for the second straight. I mean, really, it's 4 out of the last 6 quarters. He's carried everything for this team. Unbelievable second half. Unbelievable back-to-back games. 81 points in 2 games. Is that what we're at?
81 points in 2 games. Last week, on Tuesday last week, the Suns were down by 22 against the Kings in the fourth quarter, came back and won. For all the people that might have left the arena again because you didn't learn your lesson, you made the same damn mistake. And I hope there wasn't a person out there that left early in both of these games because you just missed. He made it tough for DeMar DeRozan to get shots off. He had a crucial block down low, and it just his defense, I told you in the pregame, I said the thing that's going to send him into the MVP conversation is not necessarily the offense. It's also what he's doing on defense. And he's marrying those two up, and it's amazing to watch. It really is. 35 be damned. He's on that LeBron kind of like father time ain't shit to me kind of vibe, and I love it. Love it.
I do too, but also, guys, don't put all of this on Kevin Durant's shoulders. Yes, he can do it, but he shouldn't have to do it alone.
Well, no,
In the last two games, he's had to do
he had to do it alone tonight.
A lot.
83 points in 81 minutes
It's
is
a lot.
not what you want
No.
him to be doing. But
Especially
if he
on
has
a back to
he can.
back.
By the way, yes, it was 83 points. I
Yeah.
forgot the final bucket in my calculations going back and looking. So 83 points over the last two games for him. But he led the team in assists with 8. He was third in rebounds with 6. He led the team with blocks 2, and he only had 1 turnover.
Yep, and a steal.
I mean, this was a masterful performance. And one thing I love about KD is that he can have a first half like he did, and it does not get in his head. We've seen with Booker, sometimes it gets in his head, and he tries to force shots. KD let the game still come to him in that second half, and it was unbelievable what he was capable of doing out there.
It was just honestly, I was so bummed because, listen, at one point in time, I think probably midway through the second quarter, I was like, was this just a scheduled loss, I guess? Is that what we're rolling with here? Because this was a major disappointment. Like, it was not fun to watch. And I wasn't really ready for that. Like, I wanted to keep this train rolling. Like, we've been having a great time putting together a string of wins here, and I wasn't ready to let it go. And thank God for Kevin Durant. He wasn't ready to let it go either. Turned the crowd completely around because Gerald was there watching the game just as a fan tonight. And he was even tweeting like, maybe I picked the wrong game to go as a fan to. I tweeted at him. I said, Gerald, you need to cheer louder, cheer better. And then we turned things around thanks to Kevin Durant and Eubanks.
I need him to whip out his press pass and go behind the scenes and go talk to KD right now. I want to hear KD talk some more about this. You know what I mean?
We will have more of that coverage for you guys later on. But, I mean, listen, it goes without saying tonight there is only one big, bright, shiny star on this squad, and that is Kevin Wayne Durant.
I thought you were going Devin Booker.
Bright shining star.
He had a new season high, 43 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. Kevin freaking Durant, everybody. He's a Phoenix Sun.
I think the other great thing is this is the first time in a while, maybe you could say the first half against the Pelicans that the Suns were like actively trying to find a player because they were hot. But the Suns, every time KD had the ball, especially at the end of the fourth quarter, they were trying to send those doubles. KD got the ball out of his hands, but the Suns knew exactly what action to run to get the ball right back to him. Cash.
Yes.
Like they were not fucking around and trying to get anybody else involved. There was a couple opportunities for Book and Beal when those doubles did come, and I was screaming at the TV because Beal had the ball and he's just sitting there. And I'm like, bro, KD's literally being doubled on the opposite side of you. You have the ball. It's one-on-one. If you can't beat your man, then just go sit on the bench. And he took it to the hole. You got the bucket. That was cool. But after that was basically the last time that KD didn't get a chance to touch the ball, and he needed to touch the ball down the stretch. Every single time down the stretch. Every bucket was crucial because DeRozan got a couple buckets at the end. Kobe White was incredible in this game.
So annoying.
He was, he was on another level tonight. But you know what? When you face the greats, sometimes your other level just still isn't good enough. And KD proved that tonight.
I think what I'm most impressed by, not surprised, but still impressed because like we've seen Kevin Durant do things like this. And like you said at the top of the show, it just proves how he is or why he is one of the greatest scorers of all time. Like that first half for a lot of the guys, basically everybody on this squad, let's be honest, was a little bit rough. Yeah. KD was kind of cold to start this game a little bit. He was 4 of 13 from the field, 0 of 6 from deep at halftime. He turned things completely around, a full 180. He finished 6 of 15 from deep, 16 of 32 from the field to get those 43 points. Of course, he got to the line tonight, thankfully. 5 of 6 from the charity stripe. But like, I don't know what it was, but he literally just flipped the switch and was like, I got you. Don't worry about this, guys. I'll handle it tonight.
6 of 15 after starting 0 for 6. So that's 6 of 9, 66% from 3 down the stretch. And I will credit. Listen, there was a lot of other things. There's a couple other things that we will get to in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, the refs were absolutely trash. Yes, Eric Johnson, 1,000,000%. They were fucking terrible tonight. KD could have easily had 50 because he got fouled in the first half about 4 or 5 times on his arms alone. And Grayson Allen's getting raked in the face. But I digress. Kevin Durant's movement. Kevin Durant was in the pick and roll action a lot tonight, which I really like. I really like KD in the pick and roll action at the top because he's just such a difficult matchup. When he's coming off that pick and he's got that height, he's got the shot, he's got everything at his disposal. As the table setter, I don't hate it at all. I really liked it tonight. They've started to do that a lot more of late, and it is really working. I mean, I would continue to milk that until defenses can figure out how to stop it because KD, it looks like KD is comfortable in that role.
I mean, Kevin Durant is, I mean, you say, well, how does he do it? Because he's one of the greatest, a top 5 all-time player, like we talked about in pregame, and that's how he does it. I mean, the greats can figure out how to dig deep and flip that switch. And that's what happened tonight. Yeah, sure, it was a Sega Baba. Your legs are tired. It's not exactly an ideal situation. And he winds up digging deep and finding it. And that's the difference between all-time great, just good. Like, that's what a guy like Kevin Durant can do and can take over an entire game in that way because they just have that other level. They have that other gear, and it was fantastic. I think my favorite part of the game, though, was with, they're late. Eubanks fights for the offensive board, kicks it out to KD. They take the 113-111 lead, and I felt like that was a microcosm of the entire game there for me because it was Eubanks' energy that got him the second chance bucket and KD finishing it. And really, that was the first time that, at least for me, I went, oh yeah, they're actually, they might take this. Like
the KD Eubanks spark right there in the third quarter. The Chicago Bulls, and I say this with all love, CHGO, they fucked around and they found out. Like, you can't talk trash to Kevin Durant. You can't talk trash, apparently, to Drew Eubanks because it does not end well. So,
thanks, Andre Drummond.
Listen,
wow.
The two of those guys, because let's be honest, while KD carried, Drew Eubanks was the spark. Like, KD was doing really well in the third quarter as well. I'm not trying to discredit him at all. But Eubanks was a spark plug for this team. Like, he got pissed off, and that energy was just, like, he exuded all the energy.
I would say the emotional value of what Drew Eubanks drew, no pun intended, out of the away from the Bulls with Drummond was kind of that, like, trash talk that I think the entire team needed.
Yeah.
And KD, I think, had already hit a 3 at that point. And so it just kind of went from there. And KD felt it. And when you're a player and you can feel like, oh, is that how it's going to be? And then you hit a couple buckets after that, it's like an avalanche. And KD was the avalanche single-handedly. Drew did a lot of the dirty work, which was fantastic, and we're going to get to him in a second. But KD really fed off of that kind of bullshit energy, I guess you could say, or trash talk energy, and just went off the rails. I can't. I'm almost speechless because you just don't see. I know Embiid scored 70 tonight. I know Cat scored 62. But when you do this with the game on the line, and it was like a prove it moment in the last 3 minutes, I swear it was like a prove it time after time after time again, because the Bulls were not going away. Mm-hmm. That is just a different level of greatness. That's it.
It's nice to have Kevin Durant on your team.
Man, it's goddamn nice to have KD on your team.
Look, Drew Eubanks was the defibrillator, and KD was the mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, because you needed both of them to get everything started. They don't? No, that's not allowed. Like, but look, Eubanks helped get him a pulse again. KD saved their life.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the way it worked.
I mean, both of them worked really well in tandem with each other tonight. And listen, somebody in the chat was like, are we a fourth quarter team now?
No.
Are we a fourth quarter team now?
They're a team with two gears. Either They kick ass in the first 3 quarters and backslide a little bit and win, or they suck in the first 3 quarters and they kick so much ass in the fourth that they win. That's the 2 gears this team has right now. Let's not lie. When you have to win 2 games coming back down by 23 and 22 points in the span of a week, that is a unique thing going on here.
It is, but again, it shows progress, right? I'm not saying this is a habit we should get into,
Please,
where
no.
we just like sleepwalk for the beginning of the game and then turn it on when it matters the most.
It sure is fun.
It is, but I don't think I can handle that too
Oh.
much. That these 2 games were a lot. The roller coaster of emotions on that? No, I don't want that on a night-to-night basis. But I feel like it's showing them that they know now what they can do, regardless of what quarter it is. Like, there are no maybe mental hurdles or whatever they might have been dealing with early on in the season. Like, you don't have to worry about that anymore. We've seen it twice now where you've been able to come back from a plus 20-point deficit and win a game against good teams. Like, they're, I know it's the Bulls, but the Kings were the Kings. Like, neither of these teams are scrubs.
No, Bulls were 6-2 coming in the last 8. Like, they had been playing well. And they played well until the last 8 minutes of this game. So look.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't even say, I would say that they had a stretch from basically about midway through the third to the midway through the fourth that they were kind of rough because they just let it slip away. But that last 6 minutes, they were bucket for bucket matching.
Yep.
And so credit to them for fighting back. But it's still like, again, I mentioned earlier, greatness finds another level. And Kevin Durant found another level. Even when you thought like, oh, he's on a heater, he still found a way to be hotter than the heater, which is what you want.
Yeah, but please don't make this a habit because I'll need Drew Eubanks to use the defibrillator on me. My heart can't take multiple 20-plus point comebacks in a week.
Yeah, the Suns will have to pay for all of our therapy to deal with the whiplash of emotion for these ones. Oh, my goodness. But guys, I do want to give a shout out to Drew Eubanks. He's going to be tonight's PHNX-Factor of the game.
1,000,000%.
I know we call him the defibrillator in this one, but this was a big game for Drew Eubanks. We needed him, 1, and 2. It'd been a minute since we had seen a good performance from Drew Eubanks. Like, we have been clamoring for something like this. This is a great game for Drew Eubanks. He finished with 10 points. 8 rebounds and 4 assists in this one.
But that doesn't even tell the story.
No.
It's not about the rebounds. It's about how he went about getting those rebounds. It was about Nurk was getting just abused, and they had to switch it up. And Eubanks provided that spark. And when Eubanks came out and Nurk came back in, they hunted him again, and it cost him again. Mm-hmm. So he had to come out again, and Eubanks did his thing. The energy, one of his last rebounds, somehow coming down with it, kicking it out so they can get that shot. It was just, his energy was infectious. Andre Drummond was trying to be a bully out there, and Drew Eubanks was not having any of it. Also, what a bullshit call by the refs on that tech that they give to Eubanks because he's put his arm on Kobe White and he swung back, and they didn't call the tech on Kobe. They called it on Eubanks for nothing. That's going to get rescinded, but had Drew gotten the tech for talking trash, that would have been a damn shame because we would have missed out on a lot of this stuff.
But I love he didn't back down. He didn't care. Yeah. I think it was even simpler when he started flexing on those two plays after the kind of run in with Andre Drummond. That changed everything. The dunk where he flexed, he's talking crap, changed the entire mentality. The bench came to life. His teammates came to life. And all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, we're playing a basketball game here. It was an alarm clock to everybody. And I loved it. And, obviously KD, his play did that as well. But Drew Eubanks and the fact that he wasn't going to put up with Chicago's shit, first of all. And then he was going to come back and he was going to talk his own shit, took it to another level. And he wasn't afraid, even though he got that tech, to still be that guy because he knew his team needed it at that moment, and he did it. I loved it. From a guy that we've wondered, why the hell did you bother tampering to get this guy in the first place? Why did you bring him on this roster? Tonight he showed what he's capable of, and he had 4 assists too. Like, this is not Nurk where you're like, oh, assists are something you expect. He got other guys involved. Tonight was the night Drew Eubanks became a Phoenix Sun.
Yeah.
Last week we talked about, is this a turning point when they came back and they played against the Kings and they came back from that lead. I actually think that this is more of a turning point because of the effort and the energy, and it wasn't, everybody didn't really chip in so much. It was really KD and Eubanks that kind of carried it. But what I liked about it was everybody understood what their role was and deferred. They deferred. Like, Book didn't force up any shots tonight. He deferred. He was not going to take those shots because he knew, hell, we were talking about, I was like, if they run this out of bounds play with the game on the line and they give it to Book, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah.
Like, because there's no reason. You got to give it to KD. And it paid off, obviously. So everybody played their role, played within themselves, hustled on the defensive end. KBD had some good minutes tonight. I was really impressed by him. It had a couple really good. I thought that last foul was, it was kind of unfortunate, but it was actually a good foul.
It worked out.
Actually a good
it
foul.
worked out. So we forget.
Just loved it.
There's not, between Eubanks and KD, there's nothing bad you can say. Sure, you could say the first half was cheeks for everybody, but it was, they all Devin Bookered it. Like
the second half matters the most,
Actually,
right? Isn't that what we said?
I took an OG's at halftime, so I don't even remember the first half.
You remember the second half?
It's spiritual.
I remember it having way more fun. I see.
I'm just
did
kidding.
there.
I didn't take an
I
OG's.
see what you did there, though. But Eubanks, like, I need this attitude from him every night.
Yeah.
This is the attitude I need him to play with chip on his shoulder, feisty, fiery. Like, that's who we need from Drew Eubanks.
Last game only having 9 points. I'm okay with the bench having 9 points if they affect the game in other ways. And last game, it didn't really feel like they were affecting the game in any other way. This time, KBD, Eubanks, they actually contributed off the bench in a big way. KBD didn't play a ton of minutes, but his minutes were valuable. I thought they were clutch. And then Eubanks did all that stuff that you really, really want from a bench player. You got to earn your keep in the NBA. And Drew Eubanks has been sitting on that bench for quite a while. He's getting spot minutes here and there. And now he gets his opportunity. And we told you they've got to show that they belong on this team, number one, because the trade deadline is coming up.
Yep.
And you don't want to be on that list because this team could be a championship contender. And you just know that the Suns are going to try to shore up that bench because it's not as effective as they want it to be. So props to Drew Eubanks and KBD for showing up. I just, again, the bench played much, much better. And really those two guys played much, much better tonight.
Don't tell me Drew Eubanks isn't hearing the Nick Richards rumors and everything, that they're looking potentially for a backup center. I guarantee he knew that. And tonight was that night where he kind of broke through finally. And we talk about this team needing an edge, needing a guy like that. Talked about, could bringing PJ Tucker be that? I mean, yeah, maybe you find an external source of it, but I think Eubanks can be part of that as well. As you saw tonight, he's not afraid once he starts catching bodies out there to be that guy. By the way, there are 1,700 of you in here. I was looking at. I need these likes up to 400, and I got something special for you. So hit the damn like button. If we get to 400, I got something special that I have not done in a very long time on this program, and it's not eating a shoe.
I know.
So
what it
get
is.
us to 400, and you're gonna get it.
Eric has never.
I don't think
Eric has never
experienced it.
For me.
Most of these people have not experienced it because they're new to the program.
go.
Get us up to 400 likes, and you
go.
are going to get one hell of a damn treat coming your way.
Let's go, everybody. I also have a treat for you. It probably isn't as good as Espo's, but it's the second best thing you will get. That's for sure. It's from Desert Financial Credit Union. They want to hook you up with $200, you guys. For more than 84 years, Desert Financial Credit Union has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union. And right now, when you open a free checking account online, you're going to get $200 in bonuses. All you got to do to get started is visit desertfinancial.com/200. Don't leave cash on the table, you guys.
Good
It's
God.
not worth
Already
it.
up to 350.
So when you were a kid, you ever have one of those Fisher Price cars? The kind that you can go in.
Just say you like Mexican food.
You know they have those tiny little holes, and you know what those are for, Saul? They're mini chimney holders, all right?
Mini
Mini chimneys. And our friends over at Some Burrows have some of the best damn mini chimneys you were ever going to try.
the most
And I
random
know
way.
it because that's what I had for dinner when they dropped them off here today. And it was spectacular. The salsa, the chips, everything that our friends over at Some Burrows have are worth your time. So stop by there and let them cater your next big meal or small one. If you want to cater a little something for you and your significant other for Valentine's Day, Some Burrows
Hey, that's a
is
great
good.
idea.
Or order online or find one near you by visiting someburrows.com. I recommend it, and some of their merch is pretty kick-ass. I got a nice hat today.
Yeah.
There you go. You guys heard it here first. All right, couple of super chats here. Go to Tech Review sent us one, and they said KD is good at basketball.
Yeah.
That he is.
Just a
Go
little
to
bit.
Tech Review.
Just a
That
little
he
bit.
is.
Yeah.
Travis sent us one, and they said my bingo card didn't have Eubanks and Drummond's head. No, but thank God that we got that free space. We're gonna pencil that one in there because we got that tonight.
Yep.
Rusty sent us one, and they said Kevin Durant.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Can I read the next one?
Yes, you can.
Cards fan 63 said, we're the people who didn't want KD. Yeah. That's so.
They're called Brooklyn Nets Management.
Oh no!
Oh my
Throwing
gosh.
shade at
This is
Brooklyn.
I know people, they look at the Twins and they're looking at their production and they're going to compare. And that's cool. That's fine. But Mikal Bridges, as much as we all like, greatness can't be compared to those two. I'm sorry. As much as you might like them, they're not on Kevin Durant's level. This is why you trade for a Kevin Durant. And hopefully it's only going to get better.
Yeah.
And as we go along this season and roles start to, shuffle out and people really get to feel comfortable in this, it's only going to get better. And Kevin Durant's only going to get better. And Book and Beal and hopefully the bench and the rest of the supporting cast is only going to get better. Grayson Allen has been terrific. And tonight I thought he played well within himself. I thought he was solid on the defensive end. Just combined, this whole picture of what the Suns can be is starting to come to fruition. And I like what I see. But this is why you trade for Kevin Durant, because he's one of the greatest of all time. You never doubt it. You never doubt it. Even if it doesn't work out, you don't doubt why you would trade for one of those greats.
You know how many points Cam and Mikal have in the last 24 hours? That's right, Sherry. You don't have an answer for that, but I do. That's why you call
that's crazy.
for this crap. 35 points. You know how many Kevin Durant has? 83 by himself in the last 24 hours.
How did that happen?
That's
That was
fantastic.
cool.
Siri's like, I don't actually do tell. Adrian sent us one. Thank you, Adrian. They said back-to-back nights where I've seen the defense lock in when they needed it to the most, but hope we don't have to depend on KD like this consistently. So that's one thing from tonight's game. Like, yes, they did lock in defensively when they needed to the most, but in that first quarter, could have used a little bit more defense to maybe
First
avoid
half.
getting down. First half, totally. Like,
The-
just can we maybe please avoid getting into this big of a deficit? Like, I'm really proud of these guys for being able to battle back and proving to themselves and us that they can do it and they're built for that. But again, can we not? Can we not?
I get when if a player is on a heater and they're shooting the lights out. I'm cool with that. But what I can't handle is in the first half there was multiple occasions, if you go back and watch, where all five Suns are within the 3-point line and there's 3 or 4 Bulls coming back down the court on a fast break, or they're just pushing the tempo, and they rotate the ball around all the way to the corner, and all 5 guys, there's not a single defender that was on the opposite side of the key to try and block, to try and even put a hand up. They weren't even close enough to contest the shot. So it was just wide open jumper after wide open jumper. You can't have that. And we've seen that from time to time from the Suns. It's got to get better than this. Like you just can't come out and do this kind of stuff against premier teams. Now the Chicago Bulls are a decent team. They're not horrible, but they will take advantage of your flaws. And they did tonight in the first half. Luckily the Suns fixed whatever it needed to be fixed and shored that out.
I don't feel as bad about the first half tonight. And I know I tend to be viewed as the negative one, probably because of my close proximity to Flex when he sits on the set. but for me, it really didn't bother. I felt like even if they had lost this one, you could go, all right. I mean, a lot of games in a short period of time. It's the tail end of a back-to-back. you know, you got a big one against the Mavs on Wednesday. I'm fine with it. But instead, they weren't satisfied with it. They didn't use any excuses. They looked at the second half and just said, you know what? We're just going to make this comeback. We're going to do it even though we have every excuse in the world to just go, you know what? We earned some rest. We're going to keep our foot off the gas. And no, they had the killer instinct. And I'm okay with that on a night like tonight, right? I can understand it. And I liked actually seeing them come back in that way because it did show that killer instinct. It really made you go, oh, this team realizes they shouldn't be playing with their food. This team realizes they are the better team. And it's not like earlier in the year where, well, you know, this guy's injured. I don't know. No, this team has the full confidence in themselves now that we haven't seen all year. And that's what I liked about tonight because, yeah, they could have packed it in real easily and nobody's probably ripping them a new one because they had every excuse. And they didn't, even down 23.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's take a look at the numbers in this one presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union named by Forbes.
What's in the box?
A 115-113 dub by the Suns. 14 of 34 from three. The Bulls 14 of 37. So it's basically even right there. But I think the cool thing about that stat is that the Suns could not throw a rock in the ocean in the first half from three. And then in the second half, they could. And the Bulls could not. So I like that. 44 to 85, 45, 93. Again, fairly even. The Bulls had 8 more shots. I think in the first half they had something like, 16 extra shots more than the Suns. So they closed the gap on that. 13 of 37 from the free throw line, 9 of 14. Those 4 points are especially crucial. And the Suns have 1 KD and the Bulls have 0. And that's all that matters.
And that's the biggest stat, the one that you need to look at the most.
I think I need to pay off to the people. They got us to 450.
You did. You guys got us to 450. Shout out to you guys.
So are we good? I
haven't heard this for a while.
I haven't either. It's been a hot minute, y'all.
The Phoenix Suns are the 5th best team in the West. Suck it. Let's go with the New Orleans Pelicans, the Sacramento Kings, the Dallas Mavericks, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Utah Jazz. I can't say they're the best team in the NBA.
I get it.
No.
I get it.
But I have to celebrate that they moved all the way up to 5th in the West right now.
I thought you were going to do a Kevin Durant rant.
Oh, really? I totally expected that.
I thought it was a Durant rant.
No, I thought
if
it was
they get to 550, I'll give them a Durant.
You want a
rant.
Durant rant? Get us to 550. Let's go.
Durant was my favorite 80s band, so why not?
There you go. But Saul, you brought up 3-point shooting. Tonight was tough for the Suns, 3-point shooting wise. At halftime, they were 3 of 14 in this one. At the end of the game, they were 14 of 34. So they turned things around pretty aggressively there, and they finally reached barely, because what did we say, 35 to 40?
Mm-hmm.
So they barely missed that mark of 35 attempts in this game, but they still were able to pull it off. But yeah, I mean, it's literally a tale of two halves almost, it felt like, for this one.
Yeah, I also thought that the refs tried to dictate some things
in the first half.
And I definitely thought that the Suns could have got to the free throw line a little bit more. Now, you play this delicate game of, do you want the refs to just let them play, or do you want them to call everything? And I think there was a couple instances where the Bulls were getting the calls on the same fouls that were happening down at the other end, and the Suns were not. And that's where you start to lose people. Yes. And listen, 2 challenges that I thought were blatantly clear in terms of a KBD block at the rim and should not have been a foul, and they called a foul. And then DeMar DeRozan, I don't understand. And here, this is the way it goes on a basketball court, right? You have your square, okay? I wish we could see the lines, right?
Like a drawing.
And basically think about the refs in a triangle, right? So you have an official near half court to the hash mark. You have the opposite official free throw line and even, and then you have one on the baseline and each one of them has got like a V that they got to focus on, right? The official standing on the baseline is right in front of Grayson Allen and DeMar DeRozan. Look at him straight in the face. And he calls a foul on Grayson Allen after watching DeMar DeRozan pull his arm down. How do you miss that? That's the type of stuff that drives fans crazy, because you're right there. And there were some egregious texts It was not good by the officials overall. They've got to be much better. This might be one of the worst officiated seasons I can ever remember because there's a lot of things. I mean,
the late whistles are where it's getting me a lot.
But I can at least understand that because I get it. They're like, well, it wasn't significant of a foul to call it, but it was enough to adjust the shot. But why call the foul? I get it from a player perspective. I'd rather just keep playing. If I get the bucket, I'd rather keep playing. But if you call the foul all the time, I don't want the pace of play to slow down. We would be at the free throw line 89 times if they kept blowing.
I'm sorry. Either it's a foul or it's not a foul. You don't wait until a basket's made or missed to call it a foul. It's a foul or it's not. And that's what I'm frustrated with these refs is the damn late whistle. I start to think, are we watching the game on audio delay because it's 30 seconds after the play, it feels like. It's not. It's 3, but it feels like 30 seconds. And I don't care if you let a game be physical, but like you were saying, let it be physical on both ends of the floor. I don't mind a physical basketball game. I mean, in part because growing up in the 90s watching basketball, that was a part of it. So if you want to let it be more lax, fine, but don't let it be for one team and not the other. And that was my problem tonight with the refs, was that kind of stuff, especially in the first half. But thank God for the challenges, because if this is a game 10 years ago without challenges, the Suns wind up losing because that DeMar DeRozan play was the swing. DeRozan hits the shot, the Bulls are up 113, 111, and he's supposed to be going to the free throw line. They call it back, they call the foul on DeRozan, and that's when the Eubanks offensive rebound to KD.
It was 109, 108. When he hit the shot, it was 111, 108, and then they took the points off.
113, 111. It was. I'm pretty sure that was the point where it was at. So
all I know is that it does bother me that you have to use your challenges on such egregious calls throughout this season, it feels like. And Buddha the Schizo in the chat says, why didn't they get their timeout back? Austin says, what pisses me off too is we lose a timeout if we win the challenge. Like, that's the thing that's so infuriating about these bad calls late in games is you shouldn't have to rely on the coaching staff and the replay on the video board in the arena, or Grayson Allen literally getting up immediately and running to Frank Vogel being like, challenge that I did not foul him. Like, that's unfortunate for teams. And it's not even just the Suns who have gone through it. I know a lot of people in the chat have brought it up. Right. This is across the league. Like this year, the officiating is across the league.
Saul was right.
Okay.
I was wrong.
There you go. Yep. Glad you guys handled that one.
It was the 111. You're right.
I feel vindicated.
I'm glad you do. Did you get all your frustration about the officiating out?
I think so.
You good on that?
Again, the inconsistency. And everybody in the chat knows it, except for Hector, who is mad that we're talking about.
You know what? I got to fix. Right? When the league has to rescind a tech, the fine should go to the official that called it.
Ooh. Facts.
You want to make these guys change real quick and think about the way they're calling this. Hit them in the damn pocketbook the same way you do to the players when they get a tech called on them. Mm-hmm. If the tech is reversed, if it's wrong, or I'd go even further, you really want to get into it, if a call is reversed, you wind up taking money from the official. Yeah. The official that gets it wrong loses money. Even if
it's not the same amount, because but it's same percentage maybe. Or something like that.
A percentage. I like the percentage
part.
I'll
give you that. Like, I'm not trying to be like an official who makes way less money than an NBA player.
You find like $25,000.
That's a quarter of my check.
But from a percentage perspective, I'm okay with
How
that.
fast would they start making better calls if they lost a quarter of the
at all? Like, we can't be treating.
No, because then they would be on the sportsbook apps. They'd be like, "Hey, BetMGM,
for real.
Hey,
I'm gonna make this money back tonight on the BetMGM."
Some of them already
thought Kevin Durant was gonna have 40 tonight. Not on my watch.
Tim Donaghy would like to talk with you both.
Yeah, no, we don't need that one.
I do think you should be able to keep challenging and getting your challenges back. Until you lose it. Yeah, because it's not our fault or the coach's fault that the refs are calling crazy shit. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not their fault.
Yeah. Speaking of the BetMGM Sportsbook app, I won my bet tonight. Yay!
Good for you.
And so did Flex. Espo, I'm coming for you. $6 at a time because you're the next closest one to me.
Worry about Saul. I'm an afterthought.
Right now, Flex is minus 18.51. I have $47.50. Espo has $58.50, and Saul is in the lead with $136.
This view at the top's pretty nice.
Oh, I bet it is. I'll get there eventually, I hope. Maybe one day. One step at a time, y'all. One -50 bet at a time. Minus 150 bets at a time.
It was looking so bad for you at one point. I was just feeling sorry. I'm like, you can't even pick a minus bet 2 days in a row that can win.
But I did it. I did it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sons. Thank you, KD. Appreciate ya. If you guys want to get in on the action, sign up for BetMGM using the bonus code PHNX. When you sign up using the code PHNX, you just have to place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app of at least $5, and you will receive $158 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. You can check out the show notes for full details, and now you can listen to Damon talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Okay, as long as I'm silver.
Open Y, Open Y467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms. This promotional offer is not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Long John,
Get stuffed on Ontario and the refs.
Long John Silver, you're gonna have to explain to me how you
Yeah.
lost $6,500, but
Yeah,
On
we
deal.
need some more.
deets.
Yes, please and thank you.
Do you guys want? They hit the 500 mark, and
Okay.
I'm whoring myself out this evening. So, do we want game time as Nookie Monster or a KD appreciation rant as Nookie Monster? Which do you want?
This Nookie Monster or die?
Yes.
Well, you
That-
do.
that's
what the likes
been
are
calling
for?
for
You,
it.
I
you
got-
do what you
Well,
want.
you promised them a KD rant,
Yeah.
so you better give them a KD rant.
Well, I'll do the game time ad here, because if you want to see a guy like Kevin Durant perform his craft to the next level and wow you for the money that you're going to spend to sit in those seats, Game Time's got you covered, and you're going to get in for a price that is insane. You're going to see greatness at dirt cheap prices when you use Game Time. Highly recommend them. I've used them for concerts, shows. I've also used them for sporting events, anything and everything that you want in terms of tickets, you can get there. So snag your tickets without stress with Game Time. It's simple. Download the Game Time app, create a code, and use that code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Sometimes you can get into a game for just signing up free, no cash. You're just going to use the $20 there and get in. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem that code PHNX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
All right, when's your rant coming?
Do you want it now? Do we make them wait?
Hey, you set it up. I thought it was gonna happen.
Let's go.
Me love Kevin
I
Durant
didn't know it
more
was
than
coming
me
in
love
Cookie
cookies.
Monster.
Kevin Durant, all-time great, like chocolate chip and Oreo and sugar. He great like cookies. Me love him so much. He's so amazing. Everybody else like the crumbs from the cookies. No good. But Kevin Durant, the all-time great like cookie. Me love him. He amazing. KD, unbelievable. Tonight and every night, me love KD. There you go.
I don't know where Saul went, but maybe he'll be back at some point.
Oh, Bookman don't like me.
He doesn't
No,
like.
he has thing against blue guys, not the fan.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Espo's voice there.
Saul, how many likes
thank
for
you.
you to do a Cookie Monster?
Ooh.
How many likes?
There's not enough likes in the world.
Saul
Oh,
said
700? Can I hear 700?
Never.
You get
Come
2,000, and I'm not going to do it.
He's like, no,
Wow.
that's
You
all I
get
know.
2,000. I'll follow Saul home to his house and do it while he sleeps. I'll stand over the bed for 2,000 and do a little nookie
Oh my
monster.
God.
Yeah, you know, every time I hear the Nookie Monster, you're right. I was heading back to the locker room to get a concussion evaluated.
All right, guys, some more super chats here. Trevor sent us one. Thank you, Trevor. They said, great comeback. Need to stop getting down by 20, though.
Yeah, facts.
You are correct.
Facts.
Free Mind sent us one and said, I'd trade 5 Mikal Bridges for 1 Kevin Durant.
Well, you almost did based on the picks. I mean, you could wind up having done that.
You're not wrong there.
That's true.
Jungle sent us one and they said, KD is him on the East Coast, so I'll catch this tomorrow morning. Let's go, Suns. Great defense and leadership by KD. I can get used to the sexy sacks.
I think the great thing about that comment is that when you look at KD and his demeanor, except for when he hit the big shots and they were going to timeout, of course, when he hit those big shots, he was hyped up, right?
Yeah.
But outside of that, every shot that he hit, make or miss, same demeanor.
Calm, cool, and collected.
Calm, cool, and collected. And I think that's something that the Suns could definitely take on. That's a demeanor that they can take on. Like, hey, no matter what, don't get rattled. Just keep playing.
Yep.
Just keep playing.
Even when he goes at the refs, it's a similar demeanor, but it's kind of the you got that wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like, and he can give it to him, but it's not in the same way we see some other guys, book included, kind of go at the refs. It's I like the way KD handles that too. He does it so well, and his demeanor is such a calming influence. And I think that's in part how you can make these kind of comebacks is because not too high, not too low. He shows up and he gets it done, and can kind of lead the way that
When
way.
he was at the free throw line, and he was upset because the time before that he had shot a 3, got hit on the arm, and he grazed the front of the rim, or hit the front of the rim, which is not very KD like. And he was at the free throw line. He was talking to the ref, and you could hear him talking back to the ref. And the ref just sat there and held the ball till KD was done. He was like, "Okay," and then he threw it to him. And so there's a respect for Kevin Durant out there
Given
because of his
space.
demeanor. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Be More Funny sent us one. Thank you. They said, Eubanks, he money, all caps with a money emoji.
You can take
And
that
that was
money
their
to the
first
Eubanks.
super chat ever. Shout out to
Nice.
Thanks,
Be more funny.
you. Khalil sent us one. They said, good win. How was Caruso since tryout? LOL. I mean, he's
I know
a
a lot of
pest.
I know a lot of people want Caruso on this team. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Not for 4 second-round picks and the poo-poo platter you got available, unfortunately.
Poo-poo.
Sorry, I don't know about that one. David sent us one as well. Their first super chat ever also. They said, Adam Silver, please just give the MVP award to KD. He truly has carried the team, the entire team, this whole season. He's unbelievable. Wow. Hashtag KD for MVP.
There you go.
You know what I hate is
We're going to start it. We're starting the
I said that in the
campaign.
pregame.
We're
I said that in
starting
the
it.
pregame.
I agree. You know what I hate though is he has this unbelievable night tonight. Hits the game winner, and he's not going to get talked about nationally because Embiid had 70 and Cat had 62.
I would like to think that they would also put back-to-back 40-point games in that bucket as well.
I would like
Equally
to too, but
as
they're not gonna.
impressive, in my opinion. And if you're going to talk about one great night that happened, like you have to include everybody who had a great night. If it was one other guy who had something, I would maybe understand it. We're talking about 3 guys going crazy tonight.
I'm telling you, he's not going to get any of the attention.
That's
Everything's going to be
Embiid.
Joel Embiid proved why he's an MVP. Cat, we can't believe that Cat had 62 in a loss for the Timberwolves. Oh, and Kevin Durant had 40 again.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to be nationally. Nobody's going to give it the attention or the props that he deserved.
Yeah.
He's played 81 minutes in back-to-back nights and scored 83 points at 35 years of age, and he's going to get overlooked.
Black Mason is going to give him all the credit that they deserve. They sent us a super chat and said Embiid dropped 70, Cat dropped 62. Sorry, Saul, you're going to have to read this.
But this was the most exciting game tonight. Media stopped questioning this man and talking about his leadership for clicks. Thanks for jumping on early to talk to us.
Okay. I swear I didn't see that before I said anything. I did not see that. So
We'll keep talking about it. I
yeah,
got that
well,
tickle.
I thought that was great. And then Katie Brewer also with the super set said Drew completely ignited the arena. Nice to see after some lackluster appearances of late. And Katie, need I say more? Hashtag ethical buckets.
There you go. Will H with a $2 super chat. New ads, some Durant, some can't. Drew do Drew. I like that.
Drew.
Some Durant and some can't. I like that. I like that.
Drew at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Psycho Blue with the $5 super chat says Basketball Cthulhu won't miss words. Defeat Dallas. That is all. Excellent clutch win tonight.
Gordon Beaver with the $4.99 super chat. We definitely got a vintage KD fourth quarter takeover. Truly goated. Yes, sir.
Agreed.
Joshua sent us one and they said, Eubanks for X Factor.
Yes, he was.
Absolutely, Josh. We definitely named him our X Factor in tonight's game.
Be more funny. $5 super chat. Devin lives up to his name. Sometimes he's the good book. Sometimes he's Where's Waldo. Okay. I mean,
Not a great night for Book tonight. It
No.
wasn't.
He was 6 of 11. He did he didn't do a whole lot, but this was not 2 for 12 like last night. That's
No.
all I'll say. He was ass in the second half last night.
But we hold the big 3 to their own standards that they have
That's
set
fair.
themselves. We hold KD to a different standard because
That's
it's
fair.
Kevin Durant. We hold Devin Booker to a different standard because it's Devin Booker. We hold Bradley Beal to a different standard because it's Bradley Beal. Like, I know that may be unfair, and that's probably something that people have talked about across the NBA at different times throughout the entirety of the league. But like, when you're a superstar in that, right? When your name is up there, you have to be held to a different standard.
Like you can't get all
It's
the
not
praise
fair.
and none of the.
I
the
agree,
blowback
and
for sure.
he deserved a hell of a lot of criticism last night. We gave it to him,
and most of those,
and tonight he disappeared for stretches, definitely.
Well, yeah, and I would say that 6 for 11, most of that was, I think all of it was in the first half. I can't remember him. I can't remember a bucket he got in the second half. To my recollection.
So Book had 7 points in the first quarter, 14 points in the second quarter total, right? And 16 points at the end of the third quarter.
So he had 2 in the third.
And he only got 1 shot in the fourth.
Yeah. And so, but you know what? What I will say about this is that, a lot of people last night were complaining because, when Devin went cold, he kept gunning, right? And he kind of allowed the Pacers to kind of come back into the game, and a lot of people were upset. Tonight, I kind of feel like he kind of learned from his lessons, and when he didn't force up shots, he took a temperature check shot, is what I would like to call, and he didn't hit it, and he was like, going right back to KD. That's fine, and that's cool. And it might not feel like a lot, but that is growth, and that is something that you need to pay attention to when you have 2 other guys next to you that can score at an elite level like yourself. And Kevin Durant, when he's on a heater, I'm sorry, there's nobody else in the league that you would trust more than Kevin Durant on a heater, because he can get a bucket over anyone, anytime, anyway.
All right. Zach sent us one. Thank you, Zach. They said 4-0 since Dog Barkley pissed away the troubles.
Emma
High
Stone
five and or prayer emojis, whichever one you want to think it is.
And Emma Stone and the dog that pissed on the court. The moments that will define the 2023-24 Sun season.
I'm not even mad at it, to be honest with you.
I feel like they should make a documentary about that.
They should.
I think so.
Like, what, Espo? Do it.
We'll
Dabdrum sent us one. Thank you. They said, why is the officiating so poop emoji this season?
You can say shit.
Oh,
I don't want to.
Honestly, NBA officiating's always shit. It's different levels of shit, but they've been bad traditionally, at least over the last, half decade. Like, it's been really bad. And I think it will continue to be, especially as we get more replays, better resolution televisions where you're seeing everything. You got these guys and women out there that are trying to make judgment calls super quick. It's going to look worse and worse as we go along.
I don't mind. Sometimes I don't mind the fouls that are called if they feel like they saw something, right? The ones that I can't stand are the ones that are like basically right there in front of your face. It's like, what are you looking at? And then the other thing is just the quick technicals, not allowing players to kind of vent. Again, I'm going to go back to this. When I was in Colorado, when I was refereeing high school basketball, one of the things they told you about, if you get to coach high-level varsity basketball or college basketball at that level, not even the pros, at that level, coaches are under a tremendous amount of pressure, and sometimes so are the players. And sometimes you just got to let them vent a little bit. Don't let them go overboard, but let them have it out. And then you can respond. And all you have to say is, "Are you done, coach?" And then usually they're like, "Yeah, I'm good." I'm like, "Okay." And then you move along your way. If they say no, I'm like, let them talk one more time, and then you tee them up. But you gotta have a temperature check. You can't just quick tee everybody like they're nothing, because Kevin Durant should not be treated the same way as Saban Lee. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes when Kevin Durant responds to something and they tee him up, you're like, bro, it's Kevin Durant. Like, he's not even being demonstrative to you. You got to get out of your own feelings. And EJ says that all the time.
I mean, Drew Eubanks, too. Show the man some damn respect.
Right?
Were there words, out of curiosity, were there words that it was like, that's a no-go? If that's said, you're getting a T.
I mean, if you called me the B word or something like that. Yeah.
I wasn't saying you actually had to say it, but I was just wondering if there were
the other words, like, it was fine. Like, I remember one guy, he just kept going on and on and on and on. It was a girls' team against his boys' team, and the girls were just giving it to his team. And he thought, because they're girls, that I was playing favorites and letting them be more physical than they should.
Be better.
Yeah, and I was just like, bro, your guy's getting beasted down low by their power forward. That's not just me letting them play. It's just she's got position and she's blocking them off at the rim. Like, what do you want me to do? And he got upset and he kept going. I was like, all right, coach, that's enough. One more and you're done. And he said one more. So I teed him up. And then he cussed at me again. And I teed him up and kicked him out of the gym. And I sat there and I held up the game and I waited for him to walk out of the gym. And he walked out of the gym and he stood right at the opening. I was just like, this game's going to be forfeited if he doesn't leave the gym. And finally he left the gym. And even all the parents were like, he's always like that. He's always an asshole. He's always being demonstrative. He ruins this for the kids all the time. Thank you for kicking him out of the gym. I was like, damn, that was his own parents for his own team.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Go-To Tech Reviews also agrees. Not one, he said, not one to call out the refs, but good hell, it was bad.
Yeah. It was.
Rome also sent us one. Thank you, Rome. They said, look at Eubanks actually proving his worth.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was a good game for Eubanks. All right, this is the first super chat from DL. Welcome to the Super Chat Club, DL. They said the coaches have to get Grayson more threes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Grayson's such a good shooter. You can't ice him out like that. He had that clutch 3 in the corner. That was really the only shot he got that entire fourth quarter. I would like to see a little bit more, opportunities for Grayson for sure.
Yeah, he had 3 or 4 tonight from deep, and I get it when, especially in the second half when Katie's going, you wind up, doing what you do. Grayson, like you said, had the 1-3 that was big in the third, but I would like to see him at that 8 3-pointer mark a game if he's really going.
He's going to get 10.
Well, he's going to make it, but I'm saying I want at least 8 attempts in a game for him. I don't want him fewer than that. Even Grayson, if he goes 0 for 3 to start, he could hit 4 in a row without batting an eye. So I want to see them set him up for that on purpose.
Yeah.
So
Indigo sent us one. Thank you, Indigo. They said 21 points off our bench. How do you guys feel about the bench performance compared to recent games?
I thought tonight was much better. 21 points is, whatever. But again, the energy and the defense that Eubanks and KBD brought to the table in the intangibles. I even thought Josh Okogie had a couple good minutes here and there too. So that I can deal with. In a total picture, I can deal with the bench's performance. It's when they don't provide any of that energy and they only give you 9 points and they're like, oh, for everything. That can't happen. Like, you have to have more energy off the bench than what you got last night. Tonight was much better.
yeah, they had 0 impact. Not just talking scoring. There was no impact whatsoever. And even if all you had gotten tonight was that energy out of Drew Eubanks, and they still only had like 9 points as a group, that energy in and of itself is important. Those those second chances with rebounds, like the little things are just as important with the bench. And tonight I felt, okay, I saw that group give me a little something more. They still need a piece or two on that bench for me to feel comfortable, because things tighten in the playoffs. We've seen it before. And you need to be able to rely on a few guys outside of your starting 5 to actually be able to get to where they want to go. Just being in the second round and playing well but losing is not what this team was put together for. So you need to make sure that that bench unit is capable of giving you enough to help you get there.
Yeah. Shout out to the bench and to Katie for taking care of business when they needed to in this one, especially on a back-to-back. As Katie said just a few weeks ago, you got to take care of business so you can really enjoy those off days, especially on nights after back-to-backs, because you're completely off that next day. It's just a rule in the NBA. And I hope these guys get out there, especially before they take off for that long road trip, maybe get some time out on the golf course, maybe enjoy a brand new year, new beer, Bad Birdie Juicy Golden Ale 4 Peaks collab with Bad Birdie. They deserve it after this one. They took care of business.
Yeah, I'm sure Katie's throwing back a couple tonight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if anybody deserves it, it's definitely him.
Smoking a fat one.
That's right. Visit 4peaks.com/locator to find all your favorite beers and events. You can check them out on social as well, at 4 Peaks Brew or at 4 Peaks Pub, to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. A reminder, you must be 21 or older to drink 4 Peaks, and we ask that you please drink responsibly.
Look, I'm just going to say it.
I don't know why I laugh every time.
Because it's always something so philosophical, like so well thought out. He sits there and just like, let me just see how can we make this a thing.
Have I ever told you about the philosophy? It's like, okay.
One time when I was 7 years old.
Go ahead. Carry on.
Sorry, Espo.
There's very few places where a hot streak and great luck pay off. And tonight, that place for Kevin Durant was the basketball court. But I got to tell you, For you, it may be actually Gila River Resorts
Hey,
and Casinos.
there it is.
Our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos have got you taken care of. Nobody does it better than out there. They've got great food. They got amazing table games. They got fantastic slots. Oh, and they've got one beautiful BetMGM sports book, and that's without talking about the swing bays that they got out there too.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you could want. And it's a resort too. So if you want to get away from the kids, you want to disappear for days at a time, and then go, not from your kids.
Yeah, because
in
fuck them
general.
kids.
In general.
If you want to drop off the face of the earth,
You want to leave your kids with Saul and go have a good time. Gila River.
Text me. We'll send you his address.
Gila River Resorts and Casinos got you taken
my
care of.
goodness.
Because you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details.
Lord have mercy. All right, we got a couple more super chats here. Long John Silver said, nothing to say, but all caps, go Suns.
But then he did say something else down low.
That is true. The other thing that they said down low was, damn you, Beal, I'm just venting.
I still want to know.
But what happened, Long John? How did you lose 6,500?
Yeah.
he still got the money to super chat, so
You
maybe
don't
that's
have
not
to
that
send a
much
super
for him.
chat
Okay.
to tell us. Just tell us
What
how
am-
you lost it. Can you look them up, Eric?
Okay. I don't
Yeah,
think
I'll
he's
try to
saying-
find it. Give me a sec.
Look up Long John Silver and see
Yeah.
if you can find it.
I don't think he's saying he bet 6,500.
No, but he,
Okay, he
it
could
cost
have
him
won.
65.
Yeah, but I still
Okay.
want to know what bet you took that would have won
Yeah,
you
well, that's fair.
$6,500.
Yeah, I need.
I want to know that. Okay, here we go.
I went over 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and he had 27.
Oh,
One more
no.
would have won me that.
Damn.
Oh, that's a bad beat.
Well, there had to be other things, though.
Damn.
There's
Well,
no-
yeah,
okay,
but that was the
okay.
one thing that kept him from 6,500.
Yeah.
That must have been one hell of a parlay. Oh my God, bro.
I would have been so upset.
Oh, I would cry.
Oh, man.
6,500.
Yeah.
Damn.
Maybe they'll redo the box score. They'll change something for you, and you still get the dub.
Probably not at this point,
I'm
but
hoping.
blessings. That sucks.
Can I say the next one?
Yeah, go ahead.
CQT, our new favorite name.
No. They added in the pronunciation.
Cheney.
Chine.
Chinese.
China.
China.
Chine.
We
It's
can't
like-
even
guys,
say
it's
we
It's
can't
like
even
the
say it.
drink
It's not a
chai and nay, Chine.
That's what I would guess. Chine.
China.
He needs to send us an
Why
audio
are we
message.
so dumb?
We'll just play it.
China. Got you. China. I'm calling him CQ. Why won't you let me just call him CQ?
Because
That's my
you gotta
homie.
figure out how to say his name.
That's my homie,
Put some
CQ.
respect on this man's name.
CQTM. Let's go. He says, I agree with Espo on charging the refs because of all the shit calls. Good surprise from Eubanks tonight. Fire. Yes, China.
Yes, 100% with that one.
I don't
That's a
feel
great
like
one.
Chinese.
He spelled it
You're gonna tell him how to pronounce his name?
I don't think you're right about the pronunciation of your name.
I question your judgment there.
Oh my God. Hakeem sent us one and they said, can we talk about the clear pass / transition take foul? How do we not get that one in the first half? Also, go Suns. I've seen a couple people be like, what even is a take foul at this point? Why even have it on a rule if you're only going to call it sometimes and not all the time? Like, what are we doing here?
Also, like DeMar DeRozan got away with the take foul, and he got away with he did a spin move and turned baseline and wasn't even attempting the shot, and they gave him 2 free throws. What?
Look, I think the take foul and the flop are kind of like a catch in the NFL. Nobody knows what it actually is. It's at the ref's discretion, and it may or may not have actually happened, even if they say it did.
Yeah.
So,
Makai Gilbert with the $4.99 super chat. Let's take a note from Bill Simmons. Let's take note of what Bill Simmons said on the Suns ceiling. That was a sixth seed on a podcast on January 9th. Yeah, the quiet now, LFG Suns.
wait, that's 3 days later, and he's already wrong. That's impressive.
Man, it's impressive.
I mean, I struggle to do that, and I am sometimes the worst at predictions. But 3 days is pretty impressive to have your
Because
predictions
the
fall
Suns are in
apart
the 5th
already.
seed.
It's
baby.
par for the course with Bill Simmons.
It is par
Yeah.
for the course.
If it's not the Celtics, doesn't matter for him, right?
You guys are killing it in
it
the
is
chat,
what
by
it
the way.
is.
Everybody's been having some great takes, some great comments. Fantastic night
Being
tonight.
kind and nice to one another.
We really do appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Any final thoughts on this game?
Yeah, if you get to 700 likes before we end this, Gerald will show up.
Yeah, Gerald's not
Psych.
showing up. Gerald's
Sorry,
definitely not.
y'all.
They want to know
I
if
told
Espo
you-
and Saul will hug at
No, we will
600.
not. No, we
Why
will not.
not?
You know what? I will say. I will say this. There's two reasons why. Number one, we already showed affection with each other earlier today.
Yeah, but we like to just
Number
we
two,
like to pimp it out
number
sometimes.
two, I think it's only right that we shout out our boy Flex because he had something going on, and if you want to know what it is, you can go to his Twitter. But a family, it was something that happened with his family, and it's super sad. And we send our love and prayers and to him and his family, and we hope they get through this trying time for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you won't hug me
No.
because Flex is having a tough time?
I want to hug Flex.
Because
Flex
Flex
is here. I
is
love
the one
Flex.
who deserves
He
the
said
hug
there's
today.
two reasons.
Flex is the one who deserves
Yes,
the hug today,
yes.
not
There
you.
you go.
Russ.
There you
So it
go.
is what
I
it
agree.
is.
It's about Flex.
I agree.
Sit this one out and wait your turn.
I'm just trying to get the guy's question answered.
Eric's new to this. He doesn't know this whole thing that goes between me and affection. So
I think it's funny though. All right, guys, we are gonna head out. We will have a show for you tomorrow, and guess what tomorrow is, guys? Guess.
Trade Machine Tuesday.
Oh,
Trade
shit.
Machine Tuesday.
we're bringing it back, right?
That's right.
Does he know about the video?
We gotta find it.
Eric probably doesn't know about the video,
Oh, we
but
gotta find
tomorrow
that
we're
shit.
gonna legit do a Trade Machine Tuesday episode. In addition to some other stuff, but you are not going to want to miss out. So make sure you join us. We'll be going live at 3 p.m. right here. You know where to be on our YouTube page. So plan to come hang out with us then. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't hit that thumbs up button, be sure to hit that thumbs up button just because it's the cool thing to do. If you are listening wherever you get your podcast, rate, review, and subscribe. And of course, you can give the show a follow on social at PHNX_Suns. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. You can follow Espo at Espo. And
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Tim, by the way. Met him at Costco. He was walking through Costco and he saw me and he was like, "Bro, look." And he was listening to the pod and the video on his phone right there. I thought I got a kick out of that. That was pretty cool. So shout out to Tim.
Shout out
Conception.
Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody who missed it with Gerald at the top of the show, and he said on his Twitter, he just went to the game with Amy as a fan tonight,
Yeah.
just to have a little fun at the
A little
basketball
date night.
game. Exactly. But he'll be on tomorrow for Trade Machine Tuesday. Y'all should be there. Okay, Espo, take us home.
Look, remember, be good to each other. Love your loved ones as hard as you can. And KD is one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.